fans, welcome to the Manchester United News Channel. Subscribe to the channel to not miss any news, leave your like, and share, you are very important for the growth of the channel. Let's go to the video.
Would like to see this as a situation where Manchester United can look in-house. And we've taken a look at some of Manchester United's options, squad depth-wise, about how they can actually do this. Because if you're looking at it now, you've got Malacia, who can play at left-back, but he's injured at the moment, so that is an issue. You've also got Diogo Dalot, who can more than comfortably come in at left-back, very versatile full-back, and come in and fill in for Luke Shaw.
Do you think that's what they'll do? Is that the option?
It's definitely the option. I think Erik ten Hag will go with that. He's a senior player. They've just given Dalot a massive new contract as well, so that is a big vote of confidence in Dalot's ability. And Erik ten Hag has proved on many occasions that he likes Dalot, although he's currently not starting at right back because Wan-Bissaka has that place. But last season we've seen Dalot come in at left back and fill in for Luke Shaw where there has been injuries. And I think also there's Alvaro Fernandez as well.
He's a player that you waxed lyrical about in the pre-show meeting. He was on loan last season. Tell me about him. Is he a player that you can maybe feature in the first 11 for Manchester United this season?
Brilliant young player. Brilliant young player. Really good at Preston North End last year. Won their Young Player of the Year. And Ten Hag really liked him in pre-season, giving him game time, having a look at him. And actually, you probably thought, well, if Malacia is there, where is Alvaro Fernandez going to play? When is he going to play? And there's been interest from Granada, reportedly, to take him on loan. It all depends on how long the injury to Malacia is, because I think it's very clear that Dalot will probably come in, definitely for the next game against Nottingham Forest. But for me, I would very much like to see this a situation that Erik ten Hag can sort in-house and coach his way out of it. There's enough options there in the short term. The reports are suggesting that Luke Shaw is probably going to miss weeks rather than months, and then hopefully get Malacia back in that time as well. So for me, absolutely. I would like to see Alvaro Fernandez play, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
We've already talked about goalkeepers. Obviously, you sorted that out in terms of your first choice goalkeeper. You need to sort out your backup. But if you go further through this Manchester United team, you look at midfield, you've talked ad nauseum about what Manchester United need to do, whether Ten Hag's got the style of players to facilitate his type of football. If you look at the depth there, you see you've got Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Mount as starters. Obviously, we know Mason Mount's out of an injury for a little while. But Van der Beek, McTominay and Eriksen as the backups, is that good enough for Manchester United?
It's an issue. It's an issue, and I think it's one that Erik ten Hag is clearly aware of. With Mason Mount being injured as well, you'd expect Christian Eriksen potentially come in. Donny van der Beek probably should have an asterisk above that because he's looking to move away from the club and find some consistency and reignite his career again. In the first two games of the season, Erik ten Hag's been a little bit reluctant to go straight to McTominay. Gary Neville was picking up on that in the Spurs game. Is he saving it for McTominay because he may get sold? Maybe trying to make a statement that he wants to move on from McTominay. The young lad, Kobe Mainoo, had a fantastic pre-season but was injured in the first couple of minutes in a pre-season friendly against Real Madrid. And we've seen from Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro and Mount that the early signs are a little bit worrying in terms of how does Ten Hag find the right balance between the two. Casemiro's look quite isolated. You've got Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount as 2 8s and leaving Casemiro as a 6, and there's been high turnovers in play. So there's a lot for Erik ten Hag to sort out. So definitely Manchester United would need to reinforce in that midfield situation.
And do you think, looking at the first couple of games for Manchester United, we saw it a lot in the Wolves game, we saw it in the Spurs game in the second half as well. The lack of physicality might suggest that McTominay's a player that could stay at Manchester United despite the fact he's been linked to a couple of clubs this summer.
Exactly, been linked to West Ham, and it's a weird situation for Erik ten Hag. Maybe he might be looking at an identity crisis because actually in the way he's trying to take the midfield forward, it's more technical players. You look at Mount. Good amount of money spent on him, and you let go of Fred and have a reluctance to use McTominay, but that's your physicality, that's your mobility that gets around the pitch. And if you're looking at away at Tottenham, Fred probably would have played in a game like that and have an influential role. So I definitely think there needs to be something where either McTominay stays at the football club and Erik ten Hag uses him if Manchester United can't bring other targets. But like I said, if there is a sale of Donny van der Beek, which I know Manchester United are relying upon to be able to bring in new bodies, then there could be some movement there.
And quickly, we just look at the front line. That's probably the most fluid part of Manchester United's team. We've seen Rashford play down the middle. We've got him on the left over here. That's his best position. Would you say that Højlund coming in and maybe starting for Manchester United adds a new dynamic to Manchester United front line?
Oh, it's the £64 million question. Not quite the 70 that's been... the add-ons. We've got to wait for the add-ons because that means Manchester United I will be successful, and then the add-ons will come. But he's an unknown entity. He's a project striker that Ten Hag can get his teeth into. Martial, the forgotten man. You know, so many injuries, blighted with injuries. But they're looking to be the strikers. And then you're looking at Sancho and Garnacho coming in at the left wing. On the right-hand side is pretty worrying as well, because Antony's form hasn't been very good at the start of this season, and an indifferent first season. Pellistri potentially going out on loan, and Ahmad currently injured before he was going to go out on loan. So no real recognised right winger after Antony.
There seems to be a lot of questions around this Manchester United team. Despite the fact that they've done good business currently, there's still a lot of questions to be answered. And you've got, what, 7 days left in the transfer window? Fingers crossed for your sake that you get some more business done to
Not just for my sake. Not just for my sake. You know, we've still got positives. Yeah. We've still got Erik Ten Hag at the helm. Yeah. And we'll be fine.
Surely he has to coach his way out of the situation. You can't go and spend money on a new left back if you've got players in that team that can fill that role until Shaw and Malacia are back.
Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel to not miss anything. Leave your like and your comment, that is very important for the channel growth. Until the next video.